Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. That's right, I homeschool. My name is Mrs. T. Today we are going to do a follow-up video for my last planning video because first of all, I have learned a lot. We've continued with our planning and I have all my curriculum next to us. That's the next video I'm going to record and I'm ready. But first, I just wanted to say if you haven't seen my last video, I will link it down in the description. But basically, I, at that point, had listed out 4 steps in my planning process. The TLDW, too long, didn't watch version here, is step 1 is that I evaluated the new changes for the year. So toddler is going to become preschooler and preschooler is going to become kindergartner. 2 kids that were going to be homeschooling. The second thing that we had to do was figure out the legal and get an idea of how we were going to be organizing our record keeping. The third thing is we had to pick a flow that was going to work for us. Fabulous. And then the fourth thing was going to be to find the curriculum to fit that flow. Now, when I posted this video, I had a comment down in my comment section where somebody said what they always do is ask their child what they want to learn. And I was like, why didn't I think of that? So thank you. I don't remember the username, but thank you very much for that advice. I did actually go to my child and my mind was blown. So today we're going to talk a little bit about how that conversation changed our planning a smidge, and yeah, and then I'm going to share with you guys where we are with the rest of our planning. So let's take a step back. So the first 2 steps of evaluating the new changes and the legal, that didn't change. Nothing was affected there. But I should have talked to my child before figuring out my flow. So really step 3 should have been talk to my child. So I talked to him and I was surprised at the laundry list of things that my kid wanted to learn. Some of them were crazy, like learning to ride a motorcycle. We are going through the Mouse and the Motorcycle book right now and he wanted to be like Ralph, understandably, but I had to tell him that that was going to not happen. But the next thing, like the number 2 thing he said after learning how to ride a motorcycle was French. And my mind was boggled because I had just come to terms with the fact that we were not going to include French as a subject. We were just going to do like some mindful exposure through like media, like songs and things like that. And I was like, I was not expecting that. So I was like, okay, we'll have to reevaluate because really the reason why I backburnered French is I was afraid we're running out of time. And 2, I also was unable to find a curriculum to fit our needs in our house. So anyway, I found stuff. So big win. But French had to come back onto the table in my mind after this conversation. He also listed a number of chores. He wants to help more around the house, which is great. He mentioned that he wants to do more activities. He wants to focus more on piano. He wants to learn coding, baking. He had so many things. He wants to do sewing. So he had like a laundry list. And those are like the top, I felt like, doable things. So after I talked to him, we kind of had to revisit, which was previously step 3, which is now step 4. And that was coming up with our flow. So it did change a little bit. We did make some modifications to our flow. And I'm actually going to do a whole video specifically about the flow, but I did find that I wanted to do what his subjects minus French. I thought French had to be a daily thing. Learning languages, if you're going to be serious about it, it really needs to be a daily thing. So I was like, okay, French we're now adding in every single day, which is going to bump up our time. And then I wanted to do his study on like a loop schedule. We will be breaking down that schedule a lot, but there are changes. The quantity of time that we are doing with this schedule is more. And I made that decision based on a few things. One, we as a family, as a homeschooling family, recently increased the amount of time that we are schooling today. And that is us with a very short window where we can homeschool because I'm working and my kids go to daycare. So we have increased, and this was driven by the success of what we're doing at home and my child's requesting more. So the next thing after I came up with this flow, I realized before I can even pick my curriculum, which I had already mostly picked it, let's be real, but I needed to also figure out some outside activities that are options. So my child, one of the things he wanted to do, which made me think about it, was piano, and he also mentioned soccer. So I looked into these two activities. We've been doing swimming. I know we'll be continuing with swimming. And I kind of wanted to get an idea of things that we will be doing, or when we could do them. And in this search, I did find a nature group. It's not a co-op, but it is a nature group. It's very similar. It's a homeschooling group that meet during fall and spring only. So, and it's like once every 2 weeks. So I found this program as well, and I was like, all right, I really want to continue, like, include this as an option. So I found all of our potential activities we will do, and then we created our curriculum roadmap. We chose our curriculum, and we decided how we were going to kind of move through our curriculum for these subjects. So we'll be doing our curriculum video next. After I picked the curriculum, the next step was to actually acquire all of the materials that we need. And part of this was also reviewing. We are a book-heavy, literature-heavy family. So a lot of the programs that we're using do call for a lot of books. And if they don't, I actually found books that we can supplement with. I wanted to pull in literature for basically everything. So I have it all listed out. And I have found out which library. We have access to 2 libraries. We pay for a membership in a close by county. So which library we're going to pull from? Is it going to come from Epic Books? Is it going to come from our pocket and we have to buy them? Can I get them from thrift books? Blah, blah, blah. So it was kind of finding the resources and books we were going to buy, acquiring them. So we're actually going to go over, again, in another video, not anytime soon though, all of the literature that we are going to be covering and how we're going to be accessing those books. The other things that we needed to figure out are the materials that we need to support this. We needed for our science, for example, things like magnifying glasses, meter sticks. We needed some stuff that we had that we didn't have at home. Now, we did just buy some of them for our other science program, but I did have to go through and make sure we had everything that we needed. Things that were easy to access, I'm not bothering about it, but if there are things that we're using immediately, I was like, okay, we should start acquiring those for sure. Okay, and then step 9 for me, you guys, was coming up with our homeschool rules. And I actually ended up printing it and laminating it, and I put it in our record keeping folder. And I wanted to share it with you. These are the rules that we came up with for the school year. My child and I did it together. We came up with it together. And this is going to be something that we're going to be starting our day during like our morning time, where we are going to mentally prepare ourselves for school. So both my child and I, for us, homeschool is our job. So what we're going to say is, school is my job. I can't skip it. When learning, I am ready, patient, positive, and kind. And then after we say that, we're going to say, I meant what I said and I said what I meant. My word is gold 100%. This is something that we say. We say, my word is gold. We don't say that we promise things, but what we really try to do is when we say something, both as parents to my children and my children to us, we'll ask, like, you know, you're saying something that's going to be hard for you to follow through. Is your word gold, or do you need to adjust that statement to make your word gold? You know, so we kind of work together. So the idea here is that we're going to be these 4 things, right? Ready, patient, positive, and kind. Now, let's be real. We're all humans. I'm not going to be ready, patient, positive, and kind every single day, and neither is my child. So I actually gave us, at the bottom here, we came up with this list together of things that we can do if we're not feeling one of those things. And basically, when we go to start school, I am going to give my child the option of, like, if he's kind of feeling a little bit like lethargic, if he has a little ennui or whatever it is, not being very positive, I'm going to say, why don't you pick an activity to do before we start school? And all of these activities should take about 10 minutes. So we have 10 minutes of play, 10 minutes of dancing, 10 minutes outside, 10 minutes of music bells. We use the potty or eat a snack. So he'll be able to choose one of those activities to help mentally prepare himself for school. And the same goes for me, you guys. If I need 10 minutes, like, okay, rather than getting down on myself because it's a hard morning, or maybe I'm just not in the mood, or I'm feeling crabby, I'm going to give myself the same freedom that I'm going to give my child, which is we can take 10 minutes. But the goal of that 10 minutes is to get ourselves mentally ready, to be patient, to be positive, and to be kind. And the last step that I'm going to talk about in the planning phase here is finalizing our record keeping. Now, I have a great record keeping folder and binder, and I'm going to show you guys this in detail. It has our workflow, it has our sample schedule, which is showing an example of how you can leverage the curriculum. I broke down the curriculum we're using and I wrote a couple of sentences about the curriculum, so that way I can always look back in time and see. Has our attendance tracker, has our curriculum tracker, it has everything, and I'm very proud of it. So I'll be showing that in another video. And now we're just at the point where we're finalizing those planning tasks and just patiently waiting to start the new year. So that is it, you guys. Comment down below. I got some great advice in the last planning video. Let me know what you guys think. Did I miss anything? Is there something that you think I could do to help prepare us for the upcoming year? I cannot wait to hear about it. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit that bell for notifications, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Curriculum video coming next. Bye, everyone.